Do you ever feel like you're running on empty, but you just keep going because who else will? In Western culture, burnout isn't a surprise. It's practically baked into our lifestyle. And hustle, that's treated like a virtue. There are three fundamental causes of burnout. Stay tuned to hear about them and see if you recognize yourself in them. Welcome to Break Free from the Burnout. This is for you if you're a purpose-driven entrepreneur who's ready to make a real difference in the world. Despite doing all the right strategies and tactics, something hidden is slowing your success. You're listening to Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, physicist turned energy healer, your guide through the quantum shifts that create real-world results so you can grow your business with more impact, income, and ease without burning out. Listen in. Your next breakthrough starts now. The first reason or cause of burnout is the overload and hustle culture we live in. I've experienced this to a point where I had to decide whether I was going to live or die before I turned 50. For me, it started early in life where I had a very critical parent. I also believed I had an infinite capacity to take on a lot of work. In college, I learned at a breakneck speed and did very well in my subjects. I exercised daily for at least an hour, I ate a healthy diet. I seemed to be able to fit all that in and more, including a photography and travel hobby on the weekends. But then I had a difficult husband who seemed impossible to please. No matter how much I did, whether it was running the house, working, managing kids, he acted like it wasn't enough. And I believed him. I blamed myself and thought, if I just do more, he'll finally be satisfied, and I'll finally feel peace. But instead of peace, I became burned out and ill. I had 2 small children and chose to live for them instead of keeping up that old insane pace. That's what hustle culture does. It teaches you that your value lies in doing, not being, and that if you're not fitting in an impossible set of tasks, you're not working hard enough. And it keeps your nervous system in overdrive, no rest, no recovery, no space to hear your own thoughts and your own truth. Eventually, your body, your emotions, your creativity, your happiness, and your spirit start to shut down. But even if you slow down, the fatigue doesn't always go away. Because burnout isn't just about what you're doing. Sometimes it's about why you're doing it. That comes to reason number 2. One of the things that's utterly important to humans is purpose. Purpose gives us joy and happiness. This is what really raises your vibe or your frequency. But if you lose your purpose along the way, or it changes, it can contribute to your burnout. In the early days, I loved my career in science. It brought my analytical mind, my curiosity, and my creativity fully alive. I was respected, fulfilled, and recognized as a leader and innovator. It truly felt like my purpose. I remembered a conversation with my mom one day, and she said she wondered what her purpose was. That surprised me. I was 38 and she was 58. And I told her, I know my purpose, that the science I was doing at that time felt like my purpose. She looked at me skeptically, but was surprised, and she suggested that it might change in the future, and she was right. The pressure to sustain a high level of productivity, especially with that critical husband I mentioned, told me that I was never enough, and that took a toll. I got sick, deeply burned out, and I started noticing how many people around me were also silently losing their joy. Not because they didn't love what they did, but because their energy was being drained by a system and circumstances that demanded everything and gave little room to breathe. That kind of burnout doesn't come from a lack of passion. It comes from living out of sync with what your soul and body need right now. Purpose can evolve. The way you express it can too. For me, that turning point opened a new path, healing, one that still honors the science I love, but in a way that's sustainable and aligned. If you felt your motivation fading, even for something you once loved, you might be facing this kind of burnout. But there's one more root cause that quietly underpins it all. That comes to reason number 3, the lack of alignment or an internal disconnection. You might be doing all the right things, showing up for your family, your business, your responsibilities, but inside something feels off. You're tired, disconnected, maybe even resentful, and you can't quite explain why. That's what happens when your life falls out of alignment, when your emotions, your energy, your actions, and truth are all pulling in different directions. It leads to inner conflict, which is very tiring to maintain long term. Burnout isn't just physical, it's a breakdown of your connection to yourself. Even after I stepped away from academia, my body still felt like it was stuck in overdrive. I had to retrain my nervous system, reclaim my intuition, and learn to honor my own energy rhythms. I had to learn how to trust my inner self. That's when the real healing began, not just in my health, but in how I lived, how I worked, and how I served. Burnout doesn't happen just because you're doing too much. It happens when you're doing too much of what's no longer aligned. Your inner self is pushing hard against what you're doing now to get you to do what's fulfilling by being in alignment with your core values, your emotions, your thoughts, and then bringing your actions to follow through. If what you've just heard hits close to home, if you've been pushing too hard, feeling uninspired, or quietly running on empty, I want you to know this. You don't have to keep going like this. Burnout is not the end of the road. It's an invitation to realign your energy, your work, and your life with who you truly are now. If you're ready to explore what healing and renewal can look like for you, I've set aside time for a free 15-minute call to see how you can have a burnout-proof life and business. Just go to scientifichealer.com/quantum and book a time that works for you. You and I will take a look at what's going on, what's underneath the burnout, and what a clear next step might look like, customized just for you. It's time to receive support. I look forward to speaking with you on the call. Thank you for listening to Break Free from the Burnout. You'll find resources and show notes on our website at breakfreefromtheburnout.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, sending you golden healing light and success vibes on your journey to becoming an entrepreneur who is aligned, confident, and prosperous. Your gifts are so needed in this world.